Hey guys, it's Austin here again. We're going to do a quick preview for the US versus Ecuador quarterfinal coming up on Thursday. It's going to be a big match. You may have noticed I've got the horsehead guy from Jack's Militia here, Trey, and he's going to assist us with his extensive knowledge on everything US soccer. Points of interest for Ecuador. It is a team that we played 3 weeks ago. Ecuador do have many of the same starters as they did for that matchup. So Trey, who should we watch out for?
Ecuador going forward, obviously a very fast team.
Yeah.
We got Enter Valencia, 5 goals, 24 appearances, and an injury-cut season with West Ham.
Yep.
Then you've got Jefferson Montero, who absolutely terrorized our back four in the preseason friendly here. He has like 10 goals, had 59 appearances for Ecuador. Always a threat moving forward for that cross.
These are big teams that these players are coming from. They're Premier League level talent, and we need to treat them as such. So Ecuador definitely is a team with a lot of momentum going for them too. They've had a really good Copa so far, Trey.
Oh yeah, I mean they've got that 4-0 win over Haiti. Maybe the weakest team in the whole tournament, but 4-0, still a pretty great thing.
Yeah.
Then you've got the 2-2 against probably the strongest Peru squad that's been there since probably the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
And then you've got a 0-0 draw against a very underwhelming Brazil.
Ecuador, they've got a lot of momentum. They haven't been beaten in the Copa so far. We have to beat them because this is, the quarterfinal game. So they got a strong team together. They've got a lot of players with a lot of talent, a lot of speed. Definitely a team that we can't take lightly. How about the US? What do we have going for us? This game is going to be in Seattle at CenturyLink Field, which is one of the best venues the US have. They are undefeated there. We got a loud crowd. Clint Dempsey, they're used to cheering for him because he's their star striker with the Sounders. He's also our star striker with the US men's team, so there's going to be a whole bunch of Dempsey fans out there, and I feel like that crowd may be something that's really going to motivate our players and give us that extra bit of pace that might just win us the game. US, Trey, you think they're the stronger side in this matchup?
US probably has a stronger back four. Ecuador definitely has a better attacking threat. Their strikers, their 2 wing players, Antonio Valencia and Jefferson Montero, flying down the wings. It'll be pretty much up to our defense to be able to come out with a victory.
Yeah, so they're going to be coming straight at us the whole time. And that kind of leads us into our next point. The back four for the US up until now has been amazing. Probably the best defending we've had. We've got 2 clean sheets. We did give up 2 against Colombia, but since that game we haven't given up a goal. The back four has been solid, but we don't have Yedlin in this next game, do we, Trey? And that might hurt us.
That's going to be a crucial thing. Yedlin, preseason friendly right before the Copa. He was the only person that could really keep up with Jefferson Montero for speed. Same thing with Antonio Valencia had he actually played. Yedlin's come a long way in 1 season with Sunderland. His defensive capabilities are so much stronger than what they used to be. We're going to have to be able to find a replacement that can not only provide that attacking threat, but can also defend extremely well, get back, ensure that they don't get behind our lines.
Yeah, so if they catch us on a break or something, but without Yedlin there, I feel like the pace of Ecuador is really going to be potentially an issue for us. So what options does Jurgen Klinsmann have? He's often been criticized for switching up the back line. He finally stuck with one, and it worked. And now we're missing one of the biggest pieces to that puzzle. First off, we could switch Fabian Johnson from left back to right back, and then use Castillo at left back. What do you think of that one, Trey?
That's probably going to be the best lineup right there. In my opinion, you got Fabian Johnson, play anywhere on the pitch. He's fast enough to keep up with Jefferson Montero. And then as for Edgar Castillo, he's a left-footed left back with plenty of promise, I think.
So that's a viable option. Another one would be to use Orozco at right back, which is actually what Klinsmann did against Paraguay once Yedlin got sent off. So what do you think of that? Is that a viable option for us?
It's a viable option. I can honestly see Klinsmann will go for that. It will keep the back four intact the most. You'll still have your 3 that have been playing together the entire tournament, and you're basically just swapping Yedlin out for a very defensive person in Michael Orozco.
And this is going to change the lineup the least. This is the best option as far as chemistry, which up until Copa America didn't seem like something Klinsmann cared about a whole lot. But now he's sticking with the lineup, and it has worked brilliantly up until this point. Orozco is going to be our best option. But we'll see what Klinsmann does. He's got other options as well. What should we expect from the U.S. to counteract the pace and like the raw speed that Ecuador is going to be bringing?
Honestly, I think that they're going to keep it really, really tight in the back. I also think that we are going to have less flying left backs and right backs. I think they're going to stay home a little bit more in order to ensure that we have a numbers game in the back so that we're not being overpowered through the counterattack and the fast pace of Ecuador. So that may be a blessing in disguise with Yedlin being out. However, I definitely would still rather have Yedlin in this for sure.
Absolutely. I think he would have been the perfect player for us, but we're going to have to go on without him. Another thing that's been talked about a lot is the number of yellow cards that the U.S. is bringing to this game. If the U.S. do beat Ecuador, we could potentially be missing a lot of our starting players in the semifinal.
Definitely. I mean, we got Brooks, you've got Johnson, you got Jones, you've got Bobby Wood. Hopefully we win. Argentina's looming right around the corner, and we all saw what Leo Messi did coming off the bench in the 66th minute and scored a hat trick.
He can punish a team out of nowhere, and that is something we really could go up against if we make it through. Something unique to the Copa America that we haven't experienced is they go straight to PKs. There's no extra time. How do you think the U.S. will fare if the game comes down to PKs?
Well, I mean, statistically speaking, the U.S. vastly more superior and has a lot more experience in handling extra time penalty kicks. They've had 6 shootouts in their history, 21 made out of 30, so it's pretty good odds there. And then when you take a look at Ecuador, they've only had 1 penalty shootout the entire time in their existence.
So very little data to go off of for them. The U.S. has been in that situation before. Another thing that may help us, this huge crowd, 45,000 fans cheering the U.S. on. They're going to be all in the opposing keeper's ear. They may be able to rattle those Ecuadorian players and at the same time motivate the U.S. players. I think the crowd could be the factor that tips this one over the edge and gives the U.S. the advantage.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, if you think about it, Seattle has had the attendance record for MLS since 2009, averaging about 45,000 people a game.
So final score predictions. Obviously, we're both huge U.S. supporters, so you probably kind of know where this one's going, but we're both going to write them down and we'll see what we think is going to happen. Trey?
2-1, U.S. It's going to be Dempsey and Zusi.
All right, I don't know who's going to score the goals, but I also think the U.S. are going to score 2. But Ecuador is going to score 2 too. Score 2 as well. So, the game's going to go down to penalties, and our boys are going to pull it out. We got the huge crowd behind us. Everybody's going to be going crazy. So we both said the score that we think is going to be, but the only true way to find out, Trey, FIFA. So there you have it. FIFA predicts the U.S. is going to win 3-2. 2 goals by Bobby Wood, 1 by Dempsey. What do you make of that, Trey? So we've done all that we can do. It's up to you now, Jurgen.